Hi, my name is Amy Pavlina. I am a VCS for fourth grade. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to make a Padlet to help support collaboration following independent work for grade 4 Passport to Social Studies, Unit 4, Mini Unit B, Day 10. So this lesson had to do all with federalism. And you're teaching about federalism within the classroom during your mini lesson. And afterwards, you're sending students off to work on one of the 3 independent assignments. So let's go through what your Padlet could look like. So when you're making a Padlet for students to collaborate and jigsaw information, you have to really be specific and think about what it is that you're asking your students to do. So the 3 independent work assignments that were given to students for this lesson were to either choose watching a federalism video and answering questions, look at the federalism quotations and answer questions, or look at the Great Seal of the United States and answer the questions. So by using a Padlet, you can have your students put any information that they found that was pertinent to answering their questions onto the Padlet, and you could start to divvy up your students into breakout rooms if you're remote, or into small groups within the classroom to kind of look over what was the information they found and if they can explain it further if students have any questions. And if they don't, maybe they're presenting the information. And maybe students are going around and presenting all the information they found and seeing if they could add a new idea or comment about some of the information they found. So let's go to Padlet to see how to make your own Padlet for your students. So going to Padlet, you could sign up. Here's a new one that I made for myself just to show you an example of how it looks when you're brand new. You'd go to make a Padlet. So now as you make your Padlet, you can choose any template that you like. For this kind of assignment to kind of jigsaw information, I really like it to be a shelf, just so it's kind of really making the information into sections for students to see more visibly. And I will select shelf. And now I can modify it any which way I want. So I'm going to put this, I would type in federalism, share out, power to the people. I could put an icon, I could put an address. My wallpaper, I probably wouldn't want cupcakes with sprinkles. Maybe you like cupcakes with sprinkles. I'm going to choose bricks, or corkboard is my go-to pattern of choice. Or you could choose your own wallpaper if you'd wish. And you could either have a black color scheme or a white color scheme. You could change the font to be more playful. Yes, I want to display the author's name so I could see who's participating in class. Yes, I want comments to be allowed on the post. Yes, I want people to be able to like the post if they want to. And depending on your class, you might want to require approval. I am going to filter profanity just because you never know. Misspelling might lead to some issues. And I hit next. Now I'm ready to start posting. So name my first column. My first column is going to be the first independent activity. So if we go back in, it's the federalism video. So coming back to mine, it's going to be federalism video. Save. My next column is going to be federalism quotations. And my last column is going to be the Great Seal of the United States. So now I have my nice columns that are organized for me. I can now add my information. So if I go back to get the seal, I can take the seal and make a copy of it by saving image. And I'll put great seal. And I could add the picture just so they have it as a reference point. So to add this, I'm going to go and click on plus, upload, pick a file, and I'm going directly to my last file, which was great seal, which I just saved. So now I have the great seal. I'm now going to go to the Federalism Quotes, and I'm going to get the quotes that were added originally for their independent work so they could refer back to it. So to get the quotes, I would go back into the independent work part of the lesson. And here are the 3 quotes. I'm going to select it, and I'm actually going to do a screenshot of it to get a picture and save the picture. So I take my screenshot by doing Windows Shift S. And after doing Windows Shift S, I can save my picture. And I'm going to put this as quote 1, James Madison. I'm going to take Thomas Jefferson for quote 2 by doing, again, the Windows key, Shift and S, my Federalism Quotes. And I do it by adding the plus, and I could do upload, pick a file, and I find my quote that I had saved. I do another one by doing the plus symbol, uploading it, or I could choose a picture and start the camera. It all depends on what you wish to do, how you wish to do it. I like to do the file just because I feel like it's a little bit neater looking. So now I have my 3 quotes, and I'm going to put in the name for the quote. So I'm going to put in the author of the quote, hit enter. And again, I could change the color to make it a little bit different. So now I can make it stand out more. I have the James Madison quote, and I could even take it one step further by going into what the independent work was and clicking on what does this quotation mean and what does this suggest about federalism as a form of government. So I'm going to go back to my Padlet and I'm going to write the question here. 1, what does this quotation mean? 2, what does this quotation suggest about federalism as a form of government? I'm going to copy and paste it. You could format it any way you wish. And I'm going to just do that for all of them. And last but not least, I'm going to add that federalism video. They might not be able to watch it in class, but at least I can take the link by right-clicking and clicking copy. And now I can hit plus, and I'm going to post the link. So now once I posted that video link, now your video is embedded onto that column's information for the federalism video. And I'm going to post the questions that were for that video. What does it mean that the national government deals with the big picture? Why are the laws made by state and local governments important? What do state and local governments have that the national government does not have? What questions do you have about the relationship between national, state, and local government? So maybe I'm choosing one question depending on my students, or maybe I'm choosing all 3. I'm going to put all 3 for now just to have it on my Padlet. So now that I have my Padlet, what do I do with it? What do I have students do? So now that I have my Padlet, students can comment by clicking add comment, or they can add their own information. I'm going to ask the students to go to whichever that they chose. So if they chose Federalism Video, maybe I'm having them enter their information underneath. So let's look at one together. Why do you think the original designers of this seal chose the images and words that they did? So we have the seal, maybe they're answering, click send. You're going to get your student's name that's popping up right here. So make sure that your students are choosing a name. They can edit their comment, they could delete their comment, they can add their own information underneath, their thoughts about what they read. Maybe you're posing a question to your class as you're starting this and saying, well, depending which one you chose, what does federalism mean to you? What did you learn about federalism by looking at the quotes or the video or the Great Seal of the United States? It's all up to you, and you have the autonomy to choose however you wish to go with this. But I hope that this has been helpful to support your needs in creating a Padlet for your class. Last but not least, what you're going to do is go to share this out with your students. So, privacy, change privacy. You want your students to be able to access it secretly? Do you want them to have a password? Do you want it to be public? Just because you have your students on here and their names are appearing, I would keep it secret just so their identities are saved. And I'm going to have them that they can write. And then once I'm there, I'm going to be able to share it on Google Classroom straight from here. So if I wanted to copy the link and post it into my Zoom meeting or my Google Meets, I'd click copy link to clipboard and I would just paste it into the Meet. Maybe I want to put it as a QR code if I'm in the classroom and students are just scanning it with their device to get on. Or if I want to share it to Google Classroom, I click share to Google Classroom, add to the Padlet, and I'll share it to my classroom, and I could create it as an assignment, an announcement, anything I wish to do, maybe a material for them to come back to as we go deeper into this mini unit. It's all up to you. I hope that this has been helpful to support your needs for Unit 4, Day 10, Mini Unit B, Social Studies, Grade 4.